Today, we will take a deep dive into the world of aircraft carriers, the most powerful war machines on the planet. Aircraft carriers are often the centerpiece of any naval force, thanks to their ability to deploy aircraft anywhere in the world. However, not every nation can afford this type of warship. Out of the 195 countries globally, only a select few possess at least one aircraft carrier, with one country standing out by owning as many as 11. Which country is that, and what other nations operate aircraft carriers? In the event of a conflict at sea, which side would hold the advantage? Before we explore the nations with aircraft carriers, it's important to understand a key concept. Depending on specific definitions, aircraft carriers can vary widely in type. Some ships aren't included in this category because they have different designs and functions. For instance, aircraft cruiser carriers combine features of both aircraft carriers and surface warships, typically designed for helicopters or seaplanes rather than serving as a floating airbase. Additionally, there are amphibious assault ships, which, despite having flight decks and resembling aircraft carriers, primarily operate with helicopters. Now that we've clarified the basics, let's explore the countries that possess the world's most notable aircraft carriers. China. The Chinese Navy currently operates two aircraft carriers, the Liaoning and the Shandong. The Liaoning was originally an unfinished aircraft carrier ordered by the Soviet Union. When the Soviet Union dissolved, China acquired and modernized the ship, commissioning it into service in 2012. Measuring 999 feet and weighing up to 67,000 tons fully loaded, its primary role is to train Chinese naval officers. Meanwhile, Shandong, China's second aircraft carrier, entered service in 2019. This vessel, nearly identical to the Liaoning, was built entirely in China and is fully combat capable. China is also constructing a third aircraft carrier, Type 003, in Shanghai. The U.S. Department of Defense estimates it will enter service in 2024, and China may eventually field up to 6 carriers, matching the scale of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. France Charles de Gaulle is France's first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, laid down during the Cold War and officially commissioned in 2001. At 858 feet and a fully loaded displacement of 45,000 tons, Charles de Gaulle is the most powerful aircraft carrier outside the U.S. Navy. It has participated in key operations against Al-Qaeda and the Taliban from 2001 to 2002, as well as missions against ISIS in the 2010s. France once planned to build a second carrier after Charles de Gaulle, but eventually abandoned the project. However, France intends to replace it in the 2030s with a new vessel, the PAG, Porte-Avions Nouvelle Génération, with a 75,000-ton displacement and designed to operate both manned and unmanned aircraft. India has a long history of operating aircraft carriers and currently possesses two, INS Vikramaditya and INS Vikrant. Vikramaditya, initially built for the Soviet Navy, was transferred to India and retrofitted with a ski-jump flight deck, launch systems, and arresting gear. The ship can operate up to 28 MiG-29K fighter jets and Kamov helicopters, totaling about 40 aircraft. India recently commissioned its second carrier, INS Vikrant, in 2022. This is India's first domestically built aircraft carrier, about 1,000 tons heavier than Vikramaditya. Vikrant represents a significant milestone in India's quest for naval autonomy. Italy. The Italian Navy currently operates two active aircraft carriers. Giuseppe Garibaldi, a 590-foot carrier weighing 13,930 tons, was commissioned in 1985. The carrier participated in NATO operations in Afghanistan and the intervention in Libya in 2011. Italy plans to replace Garibaldi in 2022 with the new amphibious assault ship Trieste, though the timeline was postponed to July 2023. Italy's second aircraft carrier, Cavour, serves as the flagship of the Italian Navy and entered service in 2009. This ship was upgraded to accommodate up to 12 F-35B fighter jets and several helicopters. Japan once operated some of the most formidable aircraft carriers in history. Today, however, only 2 remain operational. Due to concerns over China's rapidly expanding navy, Japan decided to upgrade its Izumo and Kaga helicopter destroyers into carriers capable of operating F-35B fighters. The upgrades include new flight decks, aviation lighting systems, and heat-resistant coatings to handle the thrust of the F-35B. Both Izumo and Kaga have a displacement of 27,000 tons and can carry 12 to 16 F-35B fighter jets. Russia. Admiral Kuznetsov is the world's largest conventionally powered aircraft carrier and Russia's only carrier. Built in Ukraine during the Soviet era, Kuznetsov weighs 58,000 tons and measures 1,000 feet. President Vladimir Putin regards this carrier as a symbol of Russia's power. Kuznetsov has seen action in Syria and can carry up to 24 Su-33 and MiG-29K fighters, along with 6 helicopters. Despite significant maintenance issues, Kuznetsov is expected to return to service by the end of 2023, United Kingdom. The British Royal Navy currently operates 2 carriers, HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales, both of the Queen Elizabeth class. These are the largest warships in Royal Navy history, with a full displacement of around 72,000 tons and a length of 920 feet. Each can carry 20 to 24 F-35B fighter jets, which can increase to 36 in emergencies. United States. The United States leads globally with its impressive fleet of 11 aircraft carriers, including 2 supercarrier classes, the Nimitz and the Ford. Each of these carriers is a floating base capable of deploying a diverse and powerful mix of aircraft anywhere in the world. 1. Nimitz class. Introduced in 1975, the Nimitz class includes 10 nuclear-powered carriers, each displacing around 100,000 tons and measuring over 1,090 feet in length. Aboard, up to 75 aircraft can be deployed, including 40 to 44 FA-18EF Super Hornets, EA-18G Growlers for electronic warfare, and MH-60 Seahawk helicopters for anti-submarine and search and rescue missions. The Nimitz carriers have served as the backbone of the U.S. Navy's power projection for decades. The second Ford class commissioned in 2017, the Gerald R. Ford class represents the future of U.S. naval aviation. The Ford class carriers include the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, EMALS, and the Advanced Arresting Gear, AAG, innovations that enable smoother aircraft operations and higher sortie rates. Like the Nimitz, each Ford carrier can deploy a similar number of aircraft, including the advanced F-35C Joint Strike Fighter. What are your thoughts on these countries and their aircraft carriers? Which one stands out the most? Leave a comment with your opinion, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest content. See you in the next video.